Well, let's move on then from temperature compatibility to mismatched libidos. One woman today says that she's considering allowing her husband to have an affair because she has completely gone off sex. I'm not sure that is going to be the solution to whatever it is that is going
very healthy marriage,
on there.
Is there? Yeah.
But I guess the mismatched libidos can be a problem.
It happens. I mean, especially when women hit a certain age and we go through our menopause. You know, the hormones, of course, dictate all of that libido. I think, but it's about the conversation that you have with one another and that understanding and sort of trust, I suppose, in and out of bed. And it's, you know, the love and attention and affection you can show one another through hugs and cuddles and understanding, and it doesn't always have to be about what happens under the sheets.
I do think it's a bit different if you're a young couple and that's happening too. Then I think that's something you need to look at. But I think, it's, like you say again, further on into your relationship, it's not the lack of sex that's the problem. It's the discrepancy if you've got one person feeling pressured and the other person feeling rejected. And that's where the issue lies. Because, and I think we so often now talk about intimacy. Intimacy can have absolutely nothing to do with sex.
Yeah. Well, what do you mean by intimacy then? When you use that word, what are you talking about?
I mean, touch, physical touch, how you communicate, you know, how you respond to each other, what you actually have built together, who you are. I mean,
it's the spark, isn't it?
The spark and everything about wanting to be with that person, loving that person. It's just doesn't actually have to be about the actual act. And like you say, we all go through different phases in our lives through, you know, hormones and it doesn't matter. It's as long as you both have an understanding relationship, it shouldn't matter.
It's true. And I do think as you get older, the things that probably turn you on more as you get older are so different to what it used to be. I remember when I was a teenager, you'd always look at boys' shoes. You'd be like, oh, what shoes have they got? Because that could be a big turn-off. Do you remember that? It's such a weird thing.
Brown
but as I
balls.
get older now, like if Jeremy empties the dishwasher in the right way, I'm like... It's like, that's sexy to me, like someone that shows up around the house, someone that you know, looks after the home and you know,
those are the things
pays attention and contributes in a nice way. That's sexy, rather than somebody
I just have to say that Brian's never let me leave my socks on.
Really? Yeah, well, I'm glad. Well done, Brian. I think that is a deal breaker, yeah. I mean, it is interesting, though, in terms of that woman who was saying, should I let my husband, you know, have sex with somebody else or have an affair because I don't want it. The suggestion is often the messages we get that if you're not having sex, then the relationship is dead. In fact, I'm sure I read that the other day, that you're effectively divorced if you're not having sex. No. And what you're saying, Sue, is you don't see it that way.
No, I don't, because, I mean, if that woman who's saying, should I let my husband have sex with somebody else because I don't want to have sex, I think that's a sign that that relationship is probably over, because you clearly don't have any intimacy in your life. And I'm not talking about the act of penetration, if you like, but there's something else missing in that relationship.
Sorry, the producer's just fainted, but don't worry about it. Get some water, yeah, thank you.
But, I mean, we do go through phases, you know. We all go through phases where sometimes we're at it and other times in life we're not. And it's just... But intimacy to me is something completely different.
Yeah. I mean, so do you think a relationship can survive mismatched libidos, or is it something that has to be addressed?
I think it's unrealistic to assume that your libidos are going to be the same throughout your whole marriage or relationship, because, you know, whether women are having children, whether you've got stress at work, you know, whether you've put on weight, lost weight, you know, you feel different all the time. And I think it's just about working through those differences and trying to find a common ground in other areas that maybe isn't focused so much on the physical, but maybe on something else at that time in your life. You know, whether you've moved house or you're doing a renovation, it's like, you know, you're not going to be thinking about sex as much as you're going to be thinking about that new bathroom you've got to put in. And like what you're saying, that is intimacy, isn't it? That's about you having a relationship and a life together. There's so much more to relationships than sex. It's about building a life and building a whole thing together.
You know, I look at, you know, people, an old couple walking down the street in their 80s, and I look at them and they're just walking down holding hands. And it melts my heart. That's intimacy. You know, it shows in all different ways, in all different areas of your life.